Good evening. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the channel again. Today we are talking a little bit on a different topic, a little bit different than the usual, mainly politics. I understand it's a sensitive subject. Just remember, it's a free fucking country, and if you don't agree with someone about something, that's the beauty of democracy. You can just state your opinion and move on, or just shut the fuck up and observe the information that's in front of you. Each of us might think differently about everything else that's in the world, and that's okay. Our opinions are shaped by our life experiences, and yeah, that's the same I think for everybody. Um, let's see. So my political affiliation, I don't have none really. I'm not, right or left. Definitely not left. I'll tell you that much as of late. Maybe I was left when I first came to the US at a young age. Right now I'm 32. I'm leaning, if anything, I'm leaning more right than anything. But regardless, as you may have seen in an interview or I guess like a town hall type of thing, Trump was talking about Kamala's race, whether she's Indian or black, blah blah blah, and he was saying like, he doesn't know whether, she was Indian running for in California, then all of a sudden now she wants to be black. I personally don't care whether she's Indian or black. It's all about qualifications. Like when I apply for a job, I don't talk about my fucking race and where I come from. I just, my qualifications for the job. What can I do to improve the company? And in this subject, what can she do to improve the country? That's about it. Personally, the way I feel about it, this administration has been shit. And to say anything else, you're just delusional, to be honest with you. I understand Trump is not for everybody. I totally get it. He is a lunatic when he fucking opens his mouth. But at the same time, he is real most of the time. Unless, I mean, yeah, it's true he lies about some things, but who doesn't in this fucking political soup of shit? But regardless, somebody sent me this and asked to react to it. So here you go. First dip in the political ocean right here. Let's see.
See her as devastated.
By the way, I hate CNN, but I hate Fox as well, just to let you know. And they don't like my kind on either side, so that is that. Regardless, share, like, and subscribe, and be open-minded about things, and vote for whoever you want to vote for. I don't think it's very hard to change people's opinions, but at the same time, my opinion has been shifted multiple times, so you just got to open your mind and look at things in a factual matter, not in an emotional matter. Because if you attach emotions to a lot of things, it's just your judgment gets clouded.
Our country and letting in, being the borders are, letting in tens of millions of illegal immigrants. Am I lying?
Excuse me, sir.
True?
Do not overtalk me. I'm going to give you an opportunity to speak. Excuse me.
Okay.
And so I posed a question to Bruce.
The fuck was that? It's because he's on the right. Watch her tone with, the left guest and then the right guest. It's kind of hilarious how they do that. Like motherfuckers on both sides don't even hide their bias.
When he says, oh, at some point she identified as this, and at some point she identified as this, are you going to hold Donald Trump to the fire for identifying himself as Swedish?
I'm a Californian.
That really bothers me, bro. Like, why does it matter what anybody identifies as in race-wise? Like, what does that have to do with them becoming, president or taken anywhere in the office? Like, how is that, like, how does that, add to their qualifications? I look at it this way. Kamala has been in office. She's a VP. And before that, she was a prosecutor or whatever, right? In California, which is the worst fucking state in the United States when it comes to laws, for obvious reasons. But at the same time, California is beautiful. I mean, if you haven't been, you should. At the same time, she was a VP for 4 years with a vegetable. So in reality, she's been, somewhat running the country, in my opinion, or whoever over there running the country for themselves. America as a whole is not better with the Biden administration and the Kamala Harris administration. It's just not. Our foreign policy is shit. You know, here at home, we have so many fucking issues that haven't been resolved. You can hate Trump all you want, but his policies were America first, which is what I want an American president to do. America first. Like, who gives a fuck about anybody else? And I'm a guy that was born in Iraq and, you know, lived half of my life there. And I love that country and I love this country more. So, because this is where my kids are, I want the future to be bright for them. So, America first. I hear a lot about the rest of the world when it comes to Democrats, which is to me annoying, and I don't like this race shit where, you know, she's black, she's white, she's Indian. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody should even fucking care. That shouldn't even be a conversation. And Trump actually falling into that is very idiotic on his part too. Like, you should not start, oh, she was identifying as this and later she was. Yes, every logical person knows. And guess what? When you mention it to those people, they're not going to change their mind. Actually, quite the opposite. They're going to double down on it and be like, oh, look, he's racist. He's doing whatever he wants to do to make her, you know, look, you know, race shifting or whatever the fuck. Is there a name for that? I don't even know. I hate that guy.
I voted for her as district attorney. Voted for her as attorney general.
Of
I
course
voted
you
for
did.
her for Senate, vice president. I voted for her as president, and she was black in every election.
Well, I want to bring in CNN political commentator Van Jones, Washington correspondent for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Tia Mitchell. She currently serves as chair of the political task force for the National Association of Black Journalists. Also joining us, former executive director of the National Diversity Coalition for Trump, Bruce Lavelle, and former senior advisor to Donald Trump, Omarosa Manigault Newman. She is the author of Unhinged. Glad to have all of you here, particularly for Laura Coates'
Now
book club
we know
night.
where she
Tia,
stands.
let me begin with you for a moment here, because Tia, you helped organize today's event, and you have been at the receiving end of a lot of criticism.
I love that though. That shouldn't be a problem. I know I'm talking a lot already. The video haven't even started, but I love that, you know, there should be openness, or they should be open enough for them to welcome any party. Like, it doesn't matter just because they're a Republican and she's a Democrat. Like, she can't debate a Democratic or a Republican candidate. It should be open enough for them to welcome him in Chicago or whatever the fuck. And then the same thing goes the other side. But we all know that's not going to happen.
Threads, and you said that you are not
her saying
okay
that she got backlash for it.
And I want to give you an opportunity, as my
stupid.
respected friend and colleague, to speak to the experience that you have had based on the decision to have him attend and speak at this event.
So I will say I'm doing much better. Thank you for
Good.
asking. Thank you for your concern. But, you know, there was just a lot of negative energy sent my way because I chose to publicly identify myself as someone who helped to organize today's event. And I also chose to publicly say that I stood behind the decision to invite President Trump, former President Trump, possibly future President Trump, to address the National Association of Black.
You know what's crazy too? If you guys didn't watch this, you should. Like, the way she spoke to him was very aggressive. You know, and it's not the first time. It's just, doesn't matter if you're left or right. As a journalist, you should be, you know, it's like a football or soccer commentator. If you're commentating on a game, you can't be biased and be like, oh, I want City to win or I want Real Madrid to win. No, you just fucking commentate. You say who's doing better. Yeah, that's fine. That's factual. But you just can't pick a side. You gotta, you know, deliver to the people what this candidate is bringing to the table, and that's it. You can add your opinion at the end, but you need to state that, hey, this is an opinion, but you can't change people and add your own judgment and push your own agenda to it, which is just horrible in our society right now.
Journalists. But to ask, you know, you ask kind of how I'm feeling about it all. I come back to, I am trying to do the work of creating opportunities for Black journalists, for increasing the pipeline of Black journalists, for creating exposure to Black journalists and Black journalism. And that's what NABJ is about. And when we have newsmaker plenaries like this, we are giving the journalists in the audience a chance to hear directly from a notable figure that many of them might not have ever had an opportunity to see in person. And again, that's part of our mission. We do it every convention year, and then every 4 years, we focus on the candidates for president. And I think it's important. I understand Trump is a different type of political figure, one we've never seen before, but I think that makes it even more important that we're aware of the stakes. And quite frankly, the questions that were asked today by those 3 Black women journalists, that's a different experience than I think Trump has ever had. And that's important too, if he's going to lead this nation.
I love what
Tia, well said. And frankly, many
I love what
questions
she
that were asked,
says.
if
What
not
she
all,
says is
have been on
actually
the minds
legit.
of journalists all across the country, all across the globe, and they were asked at this event in Chicago for the National Association of Black Journalists. Let me turn to you, Bruce, because Trump has made headlines once again. I can't think of an opportunity when he has not made headlines. But one of the big issues is that he was challenging the racial identity of Vice President Kamala Harris. And I wonder, from your perspective, why would that be the vehicle to attack her identity when there could possibly be policy differences that he could illuminate for the betterment of his own campaign?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. Good afternoon, good evening, should I say. Listen, I look at it in this perspective, and I just want to shout out to Ken Lemon, for the president of NABJ, for, putting on this great event and, giving kudos and to everyone that was involved. Kudos to Tia and putting this together. I think it's important. I've been a frequent visitor of the Atlanta Association of Black Journalism here in Atlanta, and I have family that have benefited off of that program. Because let's be frankly, I'm one of the oldest person on this panel. I remember the 80s. It was the true conduit to get through to be a journalist, to get, intern jobs here at CNN and other places. So to answer your question as it relates to that, we all know when, Vice President Kamala Harris ran for, Attorney General, and you can fact check me on this. News outlets said she's the first Indian American. She did run as Indian American. Okay, and then she was chosen for the vice president nominee as the candidate for Joe Biden, and he was told that you will get a Black woman. So then she says, well, here is a Black woman. So in all fairness, when she asked that question to President Trump, that's a valid, answer, because that's based on where she was in her life, what she chose to be at that time. So that's where that answer comes in. So she's the one that did this. She's the one.
Hold on 1 second. I want to just make clear. I know we're on this panel.
But am I lying?
I get what he's saying, but at the same time, it should not matter. You should not fall into the trap of identity politics. Like, I would just go as further as possible away from that, because identity politics will just trap you. But I get what he's saying. That is true. I mean, she was on Charlemagne and he was asking her, are you Black? And she was like, yes, I'm Black. And she was like, she can see that she put on an act that fits whatever the Black personality that she think it is. I get it. I get that. And I grew up in Baltimore, so don't come at me with the bullshit. I grew up in Baltimore. I lived in multiple cultures. I was blessed enough to grow up in Iraq, Jordan, Baltimore, and now I'm in the suburbs, living with the great whites. And then before that, I was living with the great Blacks and great Indians and great whatever the fuck. Everybody is fucking fantastic. But it's just, it should be about the person, not the race. You meet people from all corners of the world that are bad, and you meet people from all corners of the world that are good. You can have, literally in your neighborhood, if you look down the street, you're not going to like every neighbor. That's just how it is. There is no such thing as everybody's great, everybody's not great. It's just depends. All about the person. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, excuse me, sir. True? Do not overtalk me. No, I'm going to give you an opportunity to speak. Excuse me.
Okay.
Do not overtalk me on my program. I am
Somebody else was
trying
yelling
to
in my
give.
ear, so.
That's why, if you would allow me to speak, I would clarify the opportunities for each of you on the panel to have a chance to speak and have your
I
own
would
point of view
backhead
to
that
audiences eager and taking with bated breath to hear your opinion. But you cannot talk over each other. I want everyone to hear. So when you hear this voice or this ding, ding, ding of the Laura code sound, please stop.
He is patient.
Van, let me
He
go to
is
you because
patient.
you were reacting to what was
He
being
was-
said. And I want
he
you
is
to have a
patient.
chance to react to this thought that
I
Kamala
would have been
Harris,
like, all right,
only lately
fuck
revealed
you.
herself as
Have a nice day.
Well, look, I'm a Californian. I voted for her as district attorney.
I'm sorry, his voice
Voted
pisses
for
me
her
off.
as attorney general. I voted for her for Senate, vice president. I voted for her as president, and she was black in every election. So I'm not quite sure what this
Why
rumor.
does it
There may have been
matter?
some people in the business press who were confused, or in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley press that was confused. But nobody in California was confused. So but
Did
I
you
do
hear what
want
he
to
said?
do
Silicon Valley,
what
like
Trump was
basically
doing
white
today.
people?
He was
Or-
doing three things. He was trying to steal, dampen, and divide. He was trying to steal attention from Kamala Harris because she's just been running over him and getting all the attention, which he can't stand. And so by showing up there, he got attention. We're talking about him and not her. So for the first time in about a week and a half, he's now the subject. He loves that. He's also trying to dampen enthusiasm for black voters by raising these questions. Is she really black? Is she really one of you? She tells other people she's not. That's all trying to dampen black enthusiasm because the country is just in love with Kamala Harris. This Kamala mania is taking over. He's trying to figure out a way to dampen that. And the last thing he's trying to do is to divide. His main attack was trying to divide black people from immigrants.
Zan, come here. Who are you voting for? No, nobody? Nobody? All right.
And trying to throw Kamala in that same bucket as being an immigrant. She's not one of you. So he's stealing, he's dampening, he's dividing. In other words, he's the same old negative Donald Trump.
See the hypocrisy? Like, he's divided, but you're not. They literally used labels of black and all of that, but you're not divided, but he is divided. I mean, he is divided with that statement. He shouldn't have said that. But you're doing the same thing, so.
Facing a rising sun of Kamala
Fucking hate
Harris
this
is
guy.
bringing joy and unity and excitement to this country, and he's terrified. And
Omarosa-
what you saw was an old,
some
weak,
CNN
fading brand struggling for attention today and
You know what's funny?
losing ground.
All these, like, extremely pro, like, or they carry themselves like extremely pro-black and all of that. They always have a white wife. I don't know why. And he has a white wife. It doesn't matter, but it's hilarious. Because they're like, he come off extremely anti-white, pretty much. Like, not borderline, like, literally. But, yeah, I wonder if he hates his wife at home, too, the same way. You know what I mean? No?
Omarosa,
By the
I
way,
want to
you
get you
can't see
back
her in the
in, and
camera,
I want you to
but she's
respond as
right
well,
there,
Bruce, to
my
this
wife.
point.
Yeah.
But I do want to play a clip from
She's
back
camera
in
shy.
2019, which predated, by the way, this discussion of when she announced her heritage. Listen to this.
Announced her heritage.
I'm black.
Oh,
and I'm
they
proud
brought
of
up what I
being
was just
black.
talking about.
And I was born black. I will die black. And I'm proud of being black. And I'm not going to make any excuses for anybody.
Don't you think that's a problem? Like, for real. Like, imagine in Egypt, right? You have a president. I mean, Egypt doesn't have the same immigration as America, obviously. Most people in Egypt are actually Egyptian. But imagine, let's say you have a candidate, like beside a Sisi, whatever, right? I'm bringing up that example because my wife is Egyptian, but anyways. So, like, imagine somebody like a Sisi coming in, and his grandfather is from Turkey, right? And he just sits there and he's like, I'm proud of being Turkish. I am Turkish. I'm proud of being Turkish. I guess that's nationality, not race. But let's just say, like, he's proud of that, like, whatever, right? Don't you think that's a problem? You run into being an Egyptian president. You should be Egyptian president. That's it. You should be Egyptian. Like, nobody... I have a problem with people saying, like, I'm proud of being Muslim. Good for you. Just keep that shit at home. I'm proud of being Christian. Good for you. Keep this shit at home. Like, why does that matter if you're running to be a president of a country? Like, I feel like your nationality should be, your allegiance should be completely to the country that you're running for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but is there trash here?
Yeah, in the bathroom.
Which bathroom?
This one's it. What?
Well, I
You're running to be president. Yeah.
I made it from
You don't get the point of what?
What you're saying.
She's saying, he's asking her, are you black? She's like, yes, I'm black. I'm proud of being black. That's okay, right? But at the same time, why is that even a conversation? Like, you're running to be a president. Shouldn't it just be strictly about your qualification to be a president?
Yeah.
Like, is the skin color a qualification now?
No, but they want to sway votes.
Yeah, I get it, but you just said that. Like, you just hit the nail of the coffin, and you said you have no problem with it. You just said they want to sway votes. So that's literally a dirty game.
Oh. Shouldn't matter.
So you admit it's fucked up.
It doesn't matter if any person there, as long as they're good to fit around the country. That's all that matters.
Yeah, so you're agreeing with me, but at the same time, you're disagreeing?
I agree with you. The way you came off, I didn't like the way you said it.
How did I say it wrong?
I'm proud to be Turkey. Like, that's great and all, but it doesn't have to do with anything being president. Like,
Yes, because you're not running to be the president of fucking Turkey. You get what I'm...
It doesn't matter as long as you're fit to run the country that you're...
Mama.
No, because running a country is not... Running a country is not like, you know... You're running... It's not... You're not going to as a job for a company.
Right.
When you go as a soldier, right? As a soldier, do you think you'll continue being a soldier if you voice your allegiance somewhere else?
It's different.
I don't know. I don't see the difference.
Because they don't.
Because they are public servants,
Right.
motherfuckers.
Omarosa,
They're
I
not
wonder what your
regular
reaction
citizens.
has been to this statement
but
that
she's not saying
she's only pandering for political benefit.
Indian, she's just saying she's black.
She does say she's
Well,
Indian.
I think I probably know
Shit, I'm
Donald
just
better
saying.
than anyone on this panel.
And she is
Forgive me
Indian,
if
and
anyone
that's okay.
thinks differently.
I don't like
But
we're all.
I recall
you know,
in
that's
his
fine.
book, The Art of the Deal, Laura, when Donald Trump identified himself as Swedish, right?
Okay.
Because he didn't want to acknowledge that his father was German and his mother was Irish, and he thought that that would play better to those who were patronizing his businesses.
Yeah,
so
that's
can we
what
call the
she just-
question
like,
his past
he's doing what they
of
do.
self-identifying as first Swedish, then German, and then Irish whenever it's convenient? Donald doesn't know the difference between
I see shit staying on both
ancestry and
sides.
race. He doesn't want
Like,
to know the
it's just-
differences.
why is this a
Nor
conversation?
does he understand that
Like, why am I even
nuances
making a video about it?
of how people self-identify?
Like,
And so
why is that
I
even?
believe that that's
People should be
disqualifying for
talking
him.
about, okay,
And when he
what is
mispronounces her name, Laura,
what is the
he
what
does it
what
as a
policies
slur.
is this
He does
president
it
going to do?
intentionally
What
to
are they
harm
going to do
her,
for the
to
country?
make people
That's
see
it.
the
It's
otherness
that simple.
of Kamala
Like, I work
Harris.
in
And so
DC.
I posed a question to Bruce when he
I work in. You drive through DC. There is 1,000 potholes everywhere. That's a problem. That's your nation's capital, and it has that many problems.
Homeless people on the side of the road.
Homeless people everywhere. Yes, under the bridge, right there by the Kennedy Center, right? Literally, hundreds of homeless people. Like, what are you gonna do about that? Like, I don't give a damn if you're white, black, or yellow. Like, who cares? By the way, I just found out yellow is a race, like, not too long ago.
Yeah, look at that.
I didn't know that.
says, "Oh, at some point she."
What do you do in the morning? I think you want to go.
She identified
Home
as
Depot?
this, and at some
What
point
time?
she
9. But
Okay.
they want to go to IHOP.
Sounds good.
identified as this. Are you going to hold Donald Trump to the fire for identifying himself as Swedish, even though he has no Swedish roots, in his best-selling book,
Look
The
at his
Art
face.
of
Look
the
at his face.
Deal,
He's all
Bruce?
happy. Look at it. You see it?
Bruce, you're
You
happy
see
to
it?
welcome to respond. I do have a copy of the book. I'm going to try to find the passage.
I don't know about.
I'm trying to find the
that, but
passage. Look at
this
his
is all I
face.
know. The
Or is there a
ABC
double standard?
You see that? You see that movement, bro?
asked a specific question, and it is true. And Van, you know this from California. She did identify as Indian American. Now, I don't really
Can you
care
put a Trump
one way or
up
the
on?
other. And I know President Trump didn't
The
care,
last
but the
one from
specific
the
question
box.
was asked. And then
No,
why
you
did
do both.
Charlemagne the God ask that specific question? Because he's asking the same thing. Okay, which one is it?
He is asking the
are
same
you
thing.
running? Are you running as?
Love you. Good night. Hey. Let me see muscles. Okay. Good night. Love you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
as a black American? Are you running as an Indian American? That's why Charlemagne asked that question. And many others. No one cares.
Bruce, must it be an either
wait
or?
a second.
Must it be an either or?
Can I
Bruce?
finish?
No, it shouldn't be either or. Doesn't matter.
Must it be an either or to your point? Must it be?
You know, it doesn't matter. But she asked the question, where did it come from? And listen, Biden said when he was running, I'm going to pick a black woman. I'm going to pick a black Supreme Court. So when you want to talk about identity politics and pandering, I mean, let's go deep into this. But to ask a question, he answered it truthfully. And guys, and man, you know this, man. You're from California. You know she used that to her advantage in her India, and that's cool. Who cares? But that's the correct answer.
Call a spade, bro.
By being
yes,
Indian
they
American.
both manipulate shit to get more votes.
She benefited by being a black American, being chosen as the
VP. Problem with me,
what?
The problem that I have is these motherfuckers.
What's your response?
Look,
you know.
A couple of things. Number one, I do think it's just important for us to acknowledge that people can be both a black American and an Indian American if you have one parent who's of Indian descent and another parent who's of black Jamaican descent. I think we need to be clear that she has always identified as both. And she went to a black college and pledged a black sorority when she was in her either late teens or early 20s. This is not something that she just came up all of a sudden and said, by the way, I'm black. And I just think we need to be just really clear about that because we want to deal in the truth. And I think of the wider conversation and something that the Trump-Vance campaign is really, I think, having a hard time dealing with what modern families look like. People can be of mixed race, multiple races in their families. People might not have children. There might be blended.
Bro, isn't Vance's wife Indian? So his kids are half white, half Indian? And I don't like Jay Vance. Like, it's not that I don't like him. I don't know much about him. But I do think he's just a regular politician. So, but I'm pretty sure his wife is Indian. Because I think at the convention, yeah, I'm pretty sure his wife is Indian. So they obviously know. Everybody knows America is a melting pot of everywhere else. Meaning that you will see Arabs, Chinese, whatever the fuck. Every race there is, it's in here. And guess what? We're all American.
Families. There
That's
might
the point
be
that people missing.
LGBTQ families. That is what America is starting to look like. And when former President Trump appears that he doesn't really understand that intersectionality of someone being mixed race, it comes across that he's out of touch of what modern American families can look like. And I think it's really something that the Trump-Vance campaign is really going to have to deal with, or they're going to lose people.
Vance, I see Van, I know you want to interject, and Marissa, I'll give you a last word as well. Go ahead.
I just want to say you can be black, you can be an immigrant, you can be an Indian, you can be a female, and you can be president of the United States. And she's about to be all those things. And that's why Donald Trump is scared. That's why we're talking about this foolishness instead of talking about the fact that she stole immigration from him today, ran a brilliant ad, taking his main issue away from him. She is
the whole border crisis started with their administration.
Bruce, do you see it that
way? What do you mean
real
she
quick?
stole? She fixed whatever the mistakes they made.
Country and letting in, being the borders are, letting in tens of millions of illegal immigrants, flooding our school system, especially in black culture, and right here in Atlanta. So yeah, you're right. She is robbed the immigrant issue because she's allowed it to flood the gates to kill jobs, yes, and to kill schools in Chicago, Oakland, and many other cities. So yeah, you are 100% right. She has robbed it and stole it and opened the gates and killed this economy.
Look at their faces.
Yes, I agree with you.
They want to jump that motherfucker. They want to jump him, bro.
Listen, Vice President Kamala Harris has Donald Trump on the ropes. I'm saying it here and now on CNN. He will never debate her because he's scared of her, because he knows that she will clean the floor, mop the floor with him. And so the bottom line is today was about distraction. It was not about getting votes. He knew that those folks in the room would hold him to account. And so he distracted by attacking, insulting, and going below the belt. That's what he did. That's what he's about. And people saw clearly that Donald Trump should never get anywhere close to the Oval Office ever again.
Call
Well,
me a
damn.
voter, but I like
Say
to
it
hear
with your
about
chest,
the
girl.
issues. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining me. It's great to hear from all of you.
All right. That was pretty stupid, to be honest. I personally, again, I will say this: identity politics is stupid on both sides. I do think Trump made a mistake by saying these things and falling into that trap. But I do think that obviously she uses race card to her advantage. She's not the first one. People from both sides of the aisle use that, and she won't be the last one. So, nothing new here. It is just sad that out of 300 plus million people in the fucking, arguably the greatest country on earth, we only have fucking Trump and Kamala Harris to pick from. Yeah, I'm pretty sure some guy right down the street probably do a better job. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? You gotta take what you gotta take. Anyways, go out, vote for whoever you like. Doesn't matter. Nothing matters really. Everything is already set in stone. Somebody upstairs decided whatever the fuck is gonna happen tomorrow. Share, like, and subscribe. Keep an open mind. Don't think about it too much. Hit the gym. God bless America. Let's go.